Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Asma Atiqah Binti Abdul Rakis, and today I will be talking about how stress, what are the causes and the effects of stress. Now, when I think of stress, I think of unease feelings or frustrations that one can feel, and that it is when someone is overwhelmed in their own space where they cannot find a solution of cooperation of how to deal with the certain daily events that occurred in their life. Now, stress, the causes of stress, there are many. Some of them are because of daily activities itself, in learning, in working, and the expectations of people from others. And I find that these causes will only ended up making you more frustrated. In the end, for me, example, it ended up making me say learning. Learning, there's homework. And when there's homework, you need to do the homework. You need to understand it. You need to do it. To count, to read. There's so many things you need to do. And the only way that homework will be completed if it's you who is taking the action to do so, taking your time, doing your best. Now, at first, once in a while, sure, I was doing it. I was nice. It was nice until all of a sudden I noticed that the work piled up. I didn't realize, and then I have taken for granted where I've taken the mistake, the action of taking a temporary relief coping mechanism for my stress, and they included of staying up late, um, procrastinating my work, which in turn ended up making my work piled up more than it's supposed to. I sleep in and I have no progress, no activity done. Not being productive is one of the words that I would say. And the effects of stress has caused me to feel, well, at least in my experience, has caused me to feel so angry with myself. It caused an unstable emotional within you, within the person, because there's so many work to do, but I don't want to do it, and at the same time I need to do it. I cannot differentiate what I should do, what I need to do, and what I can do. The only thing I can think of is that there's so many work, and so many work. Work, work, work. Why is it always work? It's tiring, it's boring, and it's so time consuming. But at the same time, um, how it ended up being the thing that is a bad thing, the thing that is, I guess, essentially important to relieve, to deal. It's not a bad thing. Overall, it's a good thing. It keeps you productive, it keeps you on the go. But at the same time, taking the wrong actions will end up making you became someone who is less productive, someone who is more taking temporary release, such as procrastination of work, avoiding your problems, solutions, and it ended up being so steep. I'd say a very heavy uh, experience in my life. I remember in secondary school, it was always work, homework, then study, homework, then study. And how I deal with it was I took temporary release often. I procrastinate. I sleep late, only to do what to watch movies at late nights, only to grab a midnight snack. And instead of studying, I ended up more on being lazy and unproductive. Realizing that how bad, until one day, realizing how bad there was a results of an exam, realizing how bad they were, and then realizing, taking a breather, step back, seeing my work, seeing my settings, seeing my books piled, my homeworks piled, I realized that I need to do something with this. So slowly, it became more and more stressful for me, and the environment, because I need to do this, I need to fix myself, I have to, I should. Those ended up being overwhelmed for me, and I ended up being a bit emotionally unstable. Those are one of the effects that stress does. It causes emotional unbalance and poor mental health, whereas my mental health dropped low as I kept learning and learning. I remember being depressed because all I do is almost similar to a robot. It's just you take, and just receive the information. However, with the information provided and given to me, I did not do anything. No studies, more sleep, and more coping mechanism, such as putting things away so I don't see them. For example, putting my homework, under another book, and then that book into another book, that book into another book, under another book. So by doing so, I won't be able to see the works that I have to do and works that I should do, and it only piles up more and more. It was the strategy that I do successful. Honestly, it does. It keeps me away from my problems. But once I realized how bad my grades were, I had to change. I talked to it with my parents. They said that they're going to help, so they did help. They got me professional help, a nice little psychologist, professional, and that we talked it out. And then doing work, pile by pile, one, two, three, divided the work. You do this pile today, this pile tomorrow. And then between the pile, he said, between the piles, when you feel overwhelmed or when you're too into it, if you're into it and then you take a step and take a breather, you realize how exhausted you can be, your feelings, how exhausted you are. You should do like a refreshment. Take a refreshment, take a breather, go go get your energy back so you can continue doing your work. Forcing yourself to do work is not a good idea. It only keeps up the stress more. That's what he said, that is. And the way I rectified the situation was I started, of course, by therapy, and then I spend more quality time with my dad. He's an athlete. He's a fit guy. He likes to go out in the evening and jog. So I followed him. I do the things with him. I exercise with him. I go jog with him. I go cycling with him. These things keep me away from my work for a temporary amount of time, but in a good way compared to how I procrastinate and not do my work at all. Exercising actually helps me cope that there's so much more to do and so much more to focus. And then when I do work, it gets me excited and that do more. I could do more and more day by day, hour by hour, every day. My results in the end improve themselves. Of course, the stress, it was always there. I need to study, I need to get back on track, but it was worth it. And the way I deal with stress, by exercising, going out, writing down my feelings. I have a personal feeling journal where I write it down, and that it helps me to become more productive. It helps me within keep in touch with my feelings, that I need to understand that this is not the time for it, this is heavy, this is nice, okay, so I need to do this, I need to work upon my actions on that. Now, the effects of stress, it causes mental health again. Poor mental health, it causes you to have an emotionally unbalanced emotional emotions, sorry, where it ended up making me a mess. I remember when certain works were needed in by a due date, needed in the end line of the work. I ended up having to double my efforts where I need to sleep late. I ended up neglecting my self care. I can't eat. I can't sleep properly. There's no self care at all. Just work. Forcing myself to work, piling up in my work, getting swamped by it as well, to the point that it overwhelmed my own parents. So My advice: do not take temporary reliefs. Maybe once in a while, a day or two, once or twice, sure, but do not recommend it. And as stress will only keep piling up, because then you'll have to deal with things that you know that you should have done a long time ago. So yeah, thank you for listening. That's all from me. Bye.